Kia ora everyone, my name is Darcelle and I have been with the Pride Project Charitable Trust. I've been working with the Ropu for around 5 years, starting off in a design space. And my roles there today include Events and Placemaking Lead, Creative Director and Program Administrator. Other sort of fields I've worked in, graphic design, conceptual design, wedding and event planning, floristry. I was the owner and operator of the Disatongi Fine Art Gallery in Sylvia Park. Worked for many years in sales and marketing and conceptual colour at Colour Communications, and as a content coordinator for Trends Ideas Publishing House. So I've sort of over the years, most of my mahi that I've put my hands to has been in that creative realm. So it's no surprise that I am where I am today. Looking at a lot of the events that we do out here in Manurewa, so they're very localised. We stay within the Manukau sort of woody area, but mainly focused on Manurewa. We do we do pop-up events. We ran our first Matariki event in June, which was fabulous. We also partner with the likes of Neil Punja, the MBA, Manurewa Business Association, and Beautification Trust, Daniel, who's also on this hui. But yeah, we really looked to what the community of Manurewa wants to see and what will get them engaged in the events. So we have a collective that delivers a kaupapa around illegal dumping. It's an issue in Manurewa as it is in a lot of places. So we come together as a and collaborate around how we can get the messaging out around illegal dumping and what they, other options, how to reuse, how to recycle, and that's where our partnership with Beautification Trust is very strong. We also have pop-up events, Rewa Vibes, which is an event that we created off the back of COVID to get people out of their homes again. And just get them confident in coming back out into the community and into our local spaces. So Rewa Vibes was a collective, or is a collective, of like-minded groups around South Auckland that want to activate the space. But what we found that brought people out brought our community back out into the spaces was free barber cuts, which we offer every week at Rewa Vibes, and free food and an activation of some sort. Basketball seems to be the hit out here in Manurewa. But the one event that I would sort of say is more of our signature event would be our bilingual hikoi. So this year will be the 5th year that the bilingual hikoi would run. So in 2020, I've pulled up this particular one because it had, prior to this, we'd run 2 bilingual hikois, and we've taken the learnings of those at the end of each event, and then we presented this. In this particular year, we created the theme, which was around connection, and it was connecting our people to the whenua, to the pepeha of Manurewa, the connection of our people and other cultures as well. So, the whole community and all cultures that live in Manurewa, the connection to our urban marae, the Manurewa marae, and connecting knowledge around our environment. So, our taiao was very important to a lot of the organisations that participated and partnered in this delivery, and connecting people with health and wellbeing services. So this particular event, this particular year, this event was the last one held in Manurewa or in Auckland before we were locked down into our very first level 4 COVID lockdown. I think on this particular, on the day, there were 15 cases in New Zealand. So we're very fortunate to get this event across the line. And yeah, it ended up a great day. So with preparation in any of our events, we form a steering committee, which is usually one of each of the partners. And we go through different, we just talk through how we can promote, just all the different, what the walk will look like. Specifically with this bilingual hikoi, it started, it was on the road, so there was a lot of Auckland Transport involvement at that time, but on this particular year, it was the first year that we'd done the walk from along the waterfront, so right along the moana, and we were able to tell the stories of Manurewa, which was really awesome. So we would meet, the steering committee would meet once a month, and we'd put together any ideas, and as we build up and promotions into the event. So one of the ideas was to have lead-in walks. So this was just walking the route that the bilingual hikoi would, just getting people active and back out there. So two of our partners organised these walks weekly, and I think we did 4 weeks build up, but it was also promotions for the event. And that's and these photos are our walking Samoans. I think most communities have a group of walking Samoans. So they're a group of older Samoan people that just love to be active out in our community and be a part of our community events. So these were really great lead ups to the event, and the event itself, we went through stages. So we divided the walk up. So there was where we went to certain stops. They were about the taiao, and so we had a whole lot of service providers that came and spoke around those things. And then in the final stage, it was about the people. So we had wellbeing service providers in there. So at the beginning, we had our walking Samoans come and do a warm-up, and people loved this because they had to come and they had to register, they had to get their uru whenua, which is their passport, and they had to go through a whole lot of activities in order to get a free hangi at the end of the walk. So the walk was about 3k along the waterfront, which I think we'll see in one of these next pictures. So this was the passport that people had to go through and tick off certain things, but it meant that they would engage in with the service providers, and they also had this tohu to take home with them with all the answers. And in the last pages we had a bit of kōrero about Rewa Marae and a lot of the motifs that you see on the inside ceiling, because a lot of people had not been actually physically in there. It was really cool to get people connecting into the marae space. This was our walk, as you can see right down where the red dot is. That was the beginning in the reserve where the warm-up was done with the walking Samoans, and we had 5 navigators that took 100 people on the walk. So they would do their warm-up and then they would leave, and then we'd have the next ropu come in with their passports, they're ready, warmed up, and then they would leave on the walk, which went right along the waterfront to the Manurewa marae at the top there where you see the gold dots, and along the walk, so you learnt about the rako, moana, the maunga, the whenua, the awa, and there were a whole lot of things that you had to check off in your passport to as you went along. So it was a real good whānau event. Most of our events we do we do our best to make them whānau friendly. Yeah, these are just some images from the stops along the way. A couple of our youth that were at the very end wellbeing point. The connection with the marae, which Toi took our, so Toi is mana whenua, and he took each rōpū through the marae to talk them through the process, really, about when you're coming onto a marae, as well as just showing them through and letting them come in and touch the beautiful carvings and see the beautiful carvings in there. So everyone loved those guided tours. They were great. And then we had a performance, which was our one of our te reo classes that was run out of the Manurewa marae. And we had a waka come in, which went along the path that waka used to travel into that harbour there. So in behind that is the Puhunui Reserve. So it's a protected bird reserve, and it's so beautiful when you're looking out from the Manurewa marae. So if you ever get the opportunity to go there, please do. But yeah, the Rangatahi performed it was a beautiful day, and yeah, like I said, it was the last day before COVID lockdown, so it was certainly one that we remembered.